Welcome to part 7 of the Zelda series review. Today, I will be looking at Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword. Potential spoilers are ahead, so proceed with caution. Twilight Princess came out in 2006 on the Wii as a launch title, followed by a GameCube release a few weeks later. This is the first time I witnessed a huge amount of hype surrounding a Zelda game, mainly because I got into the series in the year leading up to its release and saw the numerous delays it had. Something shared by console Zelda games made afterwards, Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild. It was also the first time a Zelda game was released as a launch title, but the Wii version of Twilight Princess does feel like it was rushed in some places. Twilight Princess is more or less a traditional Zelda game, which is both a strength and a weakness. The main gameplay feature is the ability to turn into a wolf throughout the game, whether it's being stuck in that form to free the provinces of power from Twilight in the first part of the game, or switching back and forth between two forms, which is a lot of fun. The game has some really good ideas in dungeon designs. The most unique is the 5th dungeon, which takes place in a mansion. It's one that doesn't feel like a dungeon at first, but that soon changes. It is also the only Zelda I can think of that truly feels like a medieval adventure. Nintendo really did their medieval research for this one, specifically with the design of Castletown and the clothing that people wore and whatnot. Not to mention a few knights are seen along the bar, and a few old-fashioned jousts. And who can forget Midna, probably one of the best companion characters the series ever had. Another highlight is the hero Shade, the ghost of Hero Time, who teaches 7 sword techniques to his descendant, the Link in this game, marking the first time two Links have interacted with each other. He's finally able to pass on after you learn all the techniques. There's a special irony that the Hero Time helped many restless spirits pass on Majora's Mask, and ends up becoming one himself. Twilight Princess is an excellent game that is one of the best Zelda experiences out there, but a few flaws hold it back from its true potential. For one, the game seems to take a dip in quality after the first act. The first act of the game is one of the best, if not the best, Zelda experiences I've ever had. However, that changed after the first act, ironically after the classic Zelda elements started showing up. Perhaps the worst thing about Twilight Princess is how the game handled its villains, Zant and Ganon. Ganon, an example of Ganon hijacking at its finest, or rather its worst, was essentially thrown in and Zant evolved into a raving lunatic. Which is a shame, since if it wasn't for that, Zant would have been one of the greatest Zelda villains in my opinion. Nintendo must have realized how poorly they handled Ganon, since he will not be seen in the series for another 7 years, and he wasn't even the main villain in that game. And don't get me started on the useless items, except for double claw shots. The double claw shots are cool. And who can forget the annoying postman? Ugh. The game has one oddity though. This is the only Zelda game without Octoroks, making Astolfos the only enemy I can think of to appear in every single game. Though there was an enemy that behaves an awful lot like them, go figure. Twilight Princess is still a really good game though, a true highlight of the Zelda series. The plot begins roughly a century after Majora's Mask in the village of Ordon. Link is supposed to take a sword to Hyrule as a gift, but he doesn't give a chance because a bunch of monsters come around and abduct all the children in the village. Link tries to rescue them and ends up in the Twilight Realm, where he's turned into a wolf and captured. Here he's rescued by an imp named Midna, who needs Link's help to defeat the king of the Twilight Realm, Zant, who usurped the throne from her and turned her into an imp. Link has to go to different provinces of Hyrule and restore the light in all of them, rescuing the children of Ordon along the way. As he's doing this, he's also gathering 3 pieces of an artifact known as the Fused Shadows, which Midna thinks she needs to defeat Zant. They run into him after collecting all the pieces and they fail to defeat Zant, Midna suspecting that Zant got his power from somewhere else. Midna is brought into the light world and mortally injured as Link is turned to a wolf again. Zelda saves Midna and Link gets the Master Sword, which breaks Zant's curse. They then travel to the desert to find the Mirror Twilight, the entrance to the Twilight Realm. Here we meet the sages who attempted to execute Ganon long ago and failed since he got the Triforce of Power. He is then banished to the Twilight Realm. Link and Midna then gather the main shards of the mirror and go to the Twilight Realm, killing Zant, then going to Hyrule Castle to confront Ganon and killing him, but not before telling Link Zelda that this is not over, but merely the beginning, hinting at his reincarnation in 4 Swords Adventures. Skyward Sword was released in 2011 as the series' lone Wii entry, or rather, the only Zelda game made specifically for the Wii, unlike the Wii version of Twilight Princess, which is still a port of a GameCube game. Since it was made from the ground up to be a Wii game, it makes full use of the Wii's motion controls, which a lot of fans don't seem to like. I never mind them though, especially since I thought Skyward Sword was one of the few games that use motion controls well. Like other 3D console Zeldas, this one features a companion character named Fi, a character who acts like a robot of sorts and is a spirit dwelling within the goddess sword, later the Master Sword, a character that has at least been hinted at in the past. Some of her statements, like mentioning the Wii Remote's batteries running low, can get rather annoying, though they can be rather helpful at times. However, many of her comments are comical at the very least. The game introduces the use of flight, since you can use birds called loftlings to travel through the skies to get to different parts of the world beneath the clouds, or as Zelda fans like to call it, a land that becomes Hyrule. The game has an interesting way of handling saving. Unlike most of the previous games where you can save just about wherever, you have to save at certain statues that serve as warp points, specifically between the city in the clouds, Skyloft, and the surface world. All the items ranging from the sword to the bow utilize motion controls, and there's no way to explain how satisfying it is to actually swing a sword at enemies and have a one-on-one sword duel with the final boss. Like Twilight Princess, this game has a dungeon that doesn't exactly feel like one in the form of a pirate ship. It looks and feels like one from the outside and inside. Time travel is certainly no stranger to Zelda, and this game is no exception. You encounter time shift stones at many points throughout the game that change an area to what looked like centuries ago, and you even go back in time a few times. Skyward Sword is an example of Nintendo listening to criticism, notably the way the villains of the game are handled. If you remember, Twilight Princess did a sloppy job of handling Zant and Ganon, reducing the former from a great villain to a deranged lunatic and casually tossing the latter in. The villains of Skyward Sword were handled better, starting with Girahim. He is a character that starts off eccentric, but as the game progresses, his demeanor changes as Link keeps getting his way. However, it's clear from the start that he is surfing under a greater power. Enter Girahim's Master of Demise, who is, for lack of a better term, the Proto-Ganon. Unlike Ganon and Twilight Princess, Demise is present from the opening, and it's clear that Link's goal is to stop him. He even encounters the sealed form of Demise a few times. One thing to note in this game is the relationship between this game's Link and Zelda. Most games in the series don't really hint at any romantic relationship between them, though some like Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks do strongly imply it. Though that's not the case in this game, the relationship between Link and Zelda is quite clear from the very beginning. There aren't too many flaws in this game, but a couple major ones is that there really isn't a lot of exploration to do since you warp everywhere, and I don't recommend trying to fit this game's use of time travel into something cohesive. Just don't. The game takes place before all the other Zeldas, and seems to have been designed in a way to ensure that no game can be made that takes place prior to it, since it shows the origins of many things in the Zelda series. This Link lives in a city residing above the clouds called Skyloft. He has a vision of a monster and a mysterious being in his dreams on the day of the wing ceremony and the day he is supposed to graduate from the Knights Academy, celebrating its 25th anniversary as a nod to the age of the Zelda series at the time. After the ceremony, Zelda is swept up by a tornado and Link is spirited by a spirit named Fi, the spirit of the Goddess Sword. Fi was created by the goddess Hylia to aid our chosen hero in his quest to defeat Demise. With her help, he goes to land beneath the clouds and attempts to track down Zelda. He's not the only one though. A demon named Girahim is also hunting her down since he needs her to revive his master, the Demon King Demise. Link finds 2 tablets along the way that opens the way to other areas of the surface before finding Zelda and Impa, a member of the Sheikah tribe. They narrowly avoid Girahim by going through a time gate in the Temple of Time and destroying it, forcing Link to activate a second gate in the Sealed Temple. Now, where have I seen a layout like this before? It is around this time that Link has one of his many fights against the imprisoned, the Sealed Demise. One of Link's former bullies, Groose, becomes an important part of the story at this point and helps Link defeat the imprisoned. After this, Link has to infuse the Goddess' Sword with the 3 sacred flames, eventually turning it into a Master Sword, but it looks like the powerless Master Sword from the Wind Waker at first. This might explain why 3 objects are always needed to get the Master Sword. Link then goes to the past where he finally meets up with Zelda, who reveals the entirety of Hylia's plan to him. After being mortally injured stealing Demise, Hylia created Fi and set up a plan where a chosen hero with an unbreakable spirit would arise and defeat Demise using a Triforce, sending all of the survivors above the clouds along with the Triforce in an effort to keep Demise from getting it. Hylia chose to be reincarnated as a human, Zelda, since no god can use a Triforce. That was an interesting bit of information to learn. Zelda seals herself to ensure that she cannot be used to restore Demise, but not before blessing the Master Sword with the power to repel evil, taking the form we're all familiar with. Link then goes through a group of trials and gets the complete Triforce, being the only Link to win the complete Triforce without being a great threat first. The Triforce is used to bring the Isle of the Goddess down to the steel grounds, killing the imprisoned as he attempts to escape again. All things well, except Girahim emerges and captures Zelda, going back in time to the past to revive his master since he's still alive in that time. Link goes after him where he reveals that he is the spirit of Demise's sword. Link defeats him, but not before he succeeds in using Zelda to break the seal on Demise and restoring him to his true self, bearing a strong resemblance to a certain other Zelda villain. I wonder if Nintendo is trying to say something here. Demise is impressed by Link's bravery and decides to challenge him. Link confronts and finally defeats him, surprising and impressing the Demon King. However, in Demise's final breaths, he casts an eternal curse on those with the spirit of the hero and those of Hylia's bloodline, saying that an incarnation of his eternal hatred will follow them forever. An obvious reference to Ganon, revealing his constant presence in the series and why he was reincarnated in Four Swords Adventures. Fi enters her eternal slumber within the Master Sword, wanting to meet Link again in another life. Link and Zelda then decide to stay on the surface instead of returning to Skyloft, hinting that they helped to establish the land of Hyrule and are the ancestors of the royal family. Groose can be seen flying off, seemingly towards the west where the desert is, hinting that he may be an ancestor of the Gerudo. Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword are both recent enough that both are playable on current-gen consoles, so there haven't been a lot of re-releases. Twilight Princess was remade for the Wii U, which I always thought was strange since the Wii version is playable on the Wii U, but it may have been a way to let players have an upgraded version of the GameCube version. The only re-release of Skyward Sword is a digital release in the Wii U. If they haven't had a chance, I recommend playing them, especially Twilight Princess. You won't regret it. Well, if you can get over Skyward Sword's motion controls, that is. Great! You survived all the way to the end! I sure hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to like and click that subscribe button in the corner to stay up to date with the latest videos. You can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with the latest on videos and other projects. While you're at it, here are some other videos you might enjoy. Until next time.